A sharp pain exploded in his chest. Gasping, Jake looked down to see his shirt darkening with blood. His vision blurred, and as he collapsed, the last thing he saw was his own reflection in a nearby shattered window. Smiling at him, that night the others awoke to a dreadful realization. Jake was gone, and in his place the castle now haunted their dreams, whispering, waiting. The curse had chosen its next victim, and it was far from finished. The remaining friends, now terrified and desperate, met at Lena's apartment, determined to find a way to break the curse once and for all. They pored over ancient texts, trying to decipher if there was a way to sever their connection to the castle. "There has to be something we missed," Daniel muttered, flipping through his notes. "If the nobleman was feeding off the villagers' suffering, then maybe the only way to break the curse is to return him to his prison." "How?" Sophia asked, fear creeping into her voice. "We burned him." "But his spirit lingers," Lena said. "What if we need to seal him back inside the castle?" Mark clenched his fists. "Then we go back. We end this." And with that, the 4 remaining friends prepared for a final confrontation with the darkness that refused to let them go. As they approached the castle, the air grew thick with an unnatural chill. The structure loomed ahead, more sinister than ever. The gate, which had once creaked open with effort, swung wide as if inviting them in. Stepping inside, the whispers returned, surrounding them like a suffocating mist. They pressed on, descending into the crypt where it had all begun. The burned remains of the nobleman were gone. In their place, an empty coffin sat waiting. A gust of wind howled through the chamber, carrying a voice from the shadows. "One of you must stay, or none shall leave." The friends exchanged terrified glances. Then a shadow stretched toward them, the figure of Jake stepping forward, his eyes hollow and soulless. "It's too late," he whispered. "You should have never come back." The crypt doors slammed shut behind them. The final battle had begun. The crypt trembled as the heavy doors sealed behind them. The air turned ice cold, suffocating their breath as Jake's hollow eyes bore into them. "You freed him," he whispered, his voice a hollow echo. "Now he is free to take what he is owed." Lena clutched her flashlight with trembling hands. "No, we burned his body. He should be gone." Jake's face twisted into a grotesque smile. "Fire only released him, but he still needs a vessel." Mark tightened his grip on the crowbar he had brought. "Then we send him back where he belongs." The shadows around them slithered like living things, whispering in voices long lost to time. The stone walls groaned as the castle seemed to awaken. From the depths of the crypt, the nobleman emerged, his form shifting between charred remains and a towering, cloaked figure. His eyes burned with ancient hunger. "You meddled where you should not have," the entity rasped. "And now one of you will take my place." Sophia glanced at the empty coffin, then at Jake, realization dawning in her wide eyes. "He needs a host. That's why he's been tormenting us." Daniel reached into his bag, pulling out the research notes. "The villagers tried to trap him, not destroy him. There's a ritual, one meant to bind him again." "Then do it," Mark shouted, stepping between the others and the advancing specter. Lena scrambled to read aloud the Latin incantation etched onto the crypt walls. The air crackled with dark energy as the nobleman shrieked, his form distorting, resisting. Shadows wrapped around the friends, clawing at their flesh. Jake took a staggering step forward. His voice wavered. "Help me. I can't hold him much longer." Tears streaked down Sophia's face. "We won't leave you." But Jake shook his head. His hands clenched into fists as his body convulsed, the nobleman's presence warring within him. With a sudden burst of strength, he lunged toward the coffin. "Finish it!" Daniel, Lena, and Sophia shouted the final words of the incantation as Mark slammed the coffin shut. The nobleman's piercing wail filled the crypt, shaking the foundations of the castle. The shadows screamed as they were sucked into the coffin, dragging Jake with them, the lid sealed with a deafening boom. Then, silence. The castle groaned one last time before settling into eerie stillness. The doors creaked open, revealing the first rays of dawn. Sophia collapsed to her knees. "Jake, he saved us," Mark said, his voice hollow. Daniel placed a trembling hand on the coffin. "The curse needed a vessel. He made sure it wasn't one of us." Lena turned away, wiping her tears. "We have to go. before this place claims us too. As they stepped out into the morning light, the castle began to fade, its twisted towers dissolving into mist. By the time they reached their car, it was gone. But as the wind rustled through the trees, a whisper followed them. Beware, all curses have a way of returning. They would never forget. And somewhere, deep within the mist, the castle waited once more. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.